back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about a cruise line that I haven't really spoken about much on here. I may have spoken about it in like tips for booking a cruise, because I talk about a lot of cruise lines in general, but I haven't really done an actual video about said cruise line. So I'm going to be talking about a ship that's in the Cunard fleet. So for those of you who don't know, Cunard is a brand that makes up Carnival UK, which is P&O and Cunard. I think I've spoken a lot about P&O, so you would all know P&O from my previous vlogs, but Cunard is the other cruise line within Carnival UK. Now Cunard it's part of Carnival UK, so it is a British owned company, but it brings a lot of international clientele to the business. So I feel like this is the cruise line that's full of so many different nationalities, and that's what I think is so good about Cunard. Now she currently has 3 ships in the fleet, which are Queen Victoria, Queen Elizabeth and the Queen Mary 2, and there'll be soon to be a 4th queen called Queen Anne, who is due to come into the fleet in May 24. Now Cunard is known for its classical look, very traditional, and I would say very high-end traditional. It's very luxurious, and you can tell that from the ships. When you go on board, it just screams luxury, traditional, classy, classic. It just, all of those, but it's just beautiful. It's an amazing cruise line. Now Cunard focuses on 3 things. I would say tradition, so they keep a lot of traditional classic styles, classic furnishings, classic takes on things that happen on land. For example, afternoon tea, I'll get into that later. Also focuses on luxury. It's a very high-end, high-standard cruise line to book with. And the other thing, they are known for their White Star service. So they're specially trained, the staff on board are specially trained to give a type of service that you wouldn't get on any other cruise line. So much so that Cunard is known for having a high or balanced ratio from staff to guests. So it's not like you'll have half as many crew members for the guest count. It's almost like for like, and that's how they make the service so special. So going back to the traditional things they have on board, the main one is the afternoon tea. Cunard is known for, it's a staple on Cunard. Cunard are known for having this amazing afternoon tea, which is served in the Queen's room on all the ships, and it's stunning. And the staff come out to you with their white gloves and the white tea towel over the arm, and everything is just, extra care is taken, and you can really tell it is just stunning, beautiful, amazing service. They also have a very traditional and long-running itinerary, which is a transatlantic crossing. So they will do New York to Southampton and vice versa, which is well known within the Cunard brand. It's well known within the actual whole cruise industry. They do a lot of transatlantic. You can either do westbound or eastbound, or you can do both. You can sort of head out and then come back in as well. But it's very popular on Cunard, and it's done on Queen Mary 2, which is the ship I'm going to be talking about today. I was lucky enough to be able to go and spend a morning on Queen Mary 2 while she was in Southampton setting sail, or about to set sail, for her world voyage. So during my morning on board, I was able to go and do a quick tour of the ship. I got to look in some staterooms. I got to speak to some lovely staff on board who were all excited to start the world voyage, excited to meet the other crew, to meet me, to meet other people that were on board for the day or the morning. It was a really nice experience, and it was really nice to experience Queen Mary 2 as well, because out of the 3 ships that Cunard currently has, she's the oldest, and she is their flagship, and also she is an ocean liner. She's not actually classed as a cruise ship. So to give you a little bit of an explanation with what an ocean liner is and the difference between an ocean liner and a cruise ship. So Queen Mary 2 was specifically designed for large open waters, so for example doing the transatlantic, and she is built for that. She's got a really high bow, meaning she can undertake rough seas, large oceans, so the Atlantic Ocean. So when she was built, that was like her purpose. They built her for that reason. She also does sort of normal voyages, normal sailings, not specifically just large amounts of water and long days at sea or many days at sea, but she was designed for that purpose. And normal cruise ships are designed more for actual ports, so they'll visit a lot more ports than an itinerary, and then ocean liner will just go from port to port and that's the voyage done. So for example, New York embarkation, Southampton disembarkation, and then you have 7 days of sea in between, so that's the whole voyage done. Now, I had done research about Cunard. I know a lot about Cunard, however I had not been on a ship. I had not really looked at any photos, I hadn't really looked at any videos online. Like I like to do my own research, I like to YouTube videos and do all sorts of that before I go on a ship, but I didn't do this for that. I sort of wanted to be really surprised because I've heard a lot of things from other people with regards to what to expect, but I didn't really want to go in with any expectations, so I just went on sort of knowing what I know about the brand. And yeah, everything what they were saying is true and more. It just screams luxury, it screams tradition, like just classic looks. I want to quickly say though, and I know I keep mentioning that she's luxury, high-end, you get better, you know, or a higher standard of service. The prices for these voyages on Cunard are not any different from a normal cruise line. There's no higher price because of everything that's included, or it's not a higher price because it's a higher brand or higher, like a more well-received brand. It's the same price, and that's what I love about it. The first thing I noticed when walking around the ship was the colour scheme and the decor. It was very much, it was almost, I was imagining walking around like Buckingham Palace or like a royal palace because of like the blues and the reds and the golds. It was very much that colour scheme, like the red carpet, the gold furnishings, there was blue carpet with gold. It was just like, it almost felt like I was royalty walking around. But it really wasn't old-fashioned. When you think of like maybe like a red or blue carpet, in my head I think that's like a really old carpet, or like that's really old-fashioned, but it wasn't. It was just so immaculate and so well done with how they made it look traditional but not old-fashioned. It was just amazing and it was beautiful. It was also very grand. When you walked around, you'd go around a corridor and then you'd see the grand lobby or one of the restaurants, which was like a 2-tier restaurant, and even that was grand, and that was just a normal restaurant. Everything was just like big, better, grand, high-end. Everything was just screaming all of those words at me. But I didn't feel out of place, I'll say that now. I will say right here, right now, I'm not high-end, I'm not luxury, I'm not grand by any means. But when you walked around, everyone was just so lovely to you. Everyone like welcomed you, like you were there, you deserved to be there. And I felt at home, to be honest. I felt like I didn't want to leave. There are some amazing places on board to dine, to have a drink, to have a coffee. Everywhere, there's so much choice, there's so many things to choose from. There's just things like the King's Court buffet, that's just a normal buffet like on any other cruise line. There's a cigar lounge if you're wanting to do that. There's just a normal place to have coffee, the Corinthia Lounge. On Queen Mary 2 there's the Golden Lion pub, which is literally like does pub grub but also does quizzes like a normal pub at home, like you go into your local. It's amazing. For dinner there's the Britannia restaurant. So when you go in, I mentioned a minute ago, there's 2 tiers. So you go in, you find your table. With all other cruise lines, it's very similar to Cunard as well. You can either sit with just the people you're with, or you can join a larger table and sit with a larger table. It's all that's included, all dinner services included. And yeah, just looking from the actual, like standing there when you walk in, I couldn't believe what I was looking at. That was just a normal restaurant, but it almost looked like I just felt like I was, again, royalty. Queen Mary 2 also features a nightclub at the back of the ship, which is called G32, and it's amazing. It's just so like, it's like retro but like modern at the same time, and I hear from so many people that is packed every night. It's the place to be in the evening. Once you've had your dinner, you've had a few cocktails, then you just want to have a bit of a boogie. So also now mentioning staterooms. So there are different classes of staterooms, like on all cruise lines, different standards of them. So you've got the Britannia staterooms, which are standard cabins, which are insides, ocean views and balconies. Then you've got the next grade up, which is a Britannia Club, which is almost like a deluxe balcony stateroom. And then you have the Princess Grills, which are suites. They're called Princess Grill Suites. And then you have the higher standard, which are Queen's Grill Suites, and they are insane. They are amazing, they are spacious, they are, again, just grand. You literally, when you're in there, you just feel like you're, I don't know, just important. When we were walking around, we walked past a couple of staterooms that were open for cleaning. So we went in, I was able to capture some footage of a Princess Grill and a Queen's Grill. So they were amazing. I loved the sofa by the beds. I love that idea. I think it's really nice. I hope to stay in one soon. You never know. The staterooms are really spacious. We were able to look in, very briefly look in a standard balcony and an inside stateroom, and for a stateroom that's not got a window, that people always, there's a stereotype that it's really small and you're claustrophobic. I did not get that feel at all. I did not get that, and it was amazing, and I'd happily stay on one of those. Overall, she is a beautiful ship. She's in such an amazing condition. She is, again, grand. I've literally, you can probably count how many times I've said these words, but she really is. I'm running out of words to describe all these ships I'm going on. But yeah, Queen Mary 2, there's something just about her that you go on and it almost just takes you to another world and you never want to leave. It's really amazing. So I had an amazing time on board. As I said, I'm hoping to sail on her soon. Maybe when she comes back from her world voyage in April, hopefully I'll be able to go on board. I hope to be able to go on the other queens as well, especially Queen Anne when she comes in next year. Oh my god, it is next year now, because we're in 23. Yeah, just over a year we've got until she comes in, and she looks insane. She looks, yeah, an amazing addition to the Cunard fleet. And if you're sitting there thinking, oh, Cunard sounds too posh, too old-fashioned, I'm here to break that stereotype. She's not that feel at all. Yes, she's grand, she's high-end, she's a luxury brand, but there's nothing, that stereotype just completely broken. There's none of that on Cunard, and it's just a stereotype. I think that's just from people that have never sailed on her before or never cruised in their life, because that's another stereotype. People just think cruising is for old people, and it really is not, I'm telling you now. But Cunard is definitely a brand that I've always wanted to sail on, and if you get the chance, if you're sitting here thinking, oh, I do like the sound of that, please look into it further. Please book something, because you will not regret it. It's an amazing brand. The ships are stunning, and when you go on board you will literally just be thinking, wow, that's what I was like. And fun fact for you, Ed Sheeran has sailed on Queen Mary 2 a lot of times, and this is because his tour manager, or one of his managers, doesn't like flying, so the best way to do that is sail. So if he's sailing to New York, or if he's in New York sailing back to Southampton, he'll go on Queen Mary 2. And I believe the staff on board were nice enough to almost make like a temporary recording studio for him in the crew area. Someone told me that on another cruise ship I went on recently, and I researched it and I saw that it was true. But yeah, Ed Sheeran has been on Queen Mary 2. What a fun fact. But Cunard is definitely a brand you need to try if you have not already, and I hope you liked the look of Queen Mary 2 as much as I enjoyed going on her. I hope to spend a lot more time on her soon, but I had an amazing morning. It was beautiful ship. I didn't want to get off. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.